He didn't say that. So when you put this masculinity on that the world has given us, we are not following Christ's model of how to bring people into the church. I cannot go out and tell everybody you're a sinner because your pants are too tight. You're a sinner because maybe that's all they have to wear.
No,
maybe that's the only thing they have to dress in.
That's not what we do.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And to go back to the topic that we're currently on, we cannot use the word most. If we have not experienced most, we cannot use the word most.
I believe we can. Because of this.
Hear me out. Here's the problem for me. If this is your opinion, here's the problem in my opinion. Mm-hmm. When people listen to this podcast and they hear Prophet Lorenzo, who's on here most of the time, preaching and passionate about what he says, and they go, most of the church is doing this, they might be getting disheartened to say, why am I even going to church if I'm gonna walk into the same environment I'm in?
Well, yeah, some of them need to be disheartened because a lot of these places are off schedule with God.
It's hard to walk into church.
The thing, these churches aren't church, for one. For two, if most of the churches were on schedule with God, we would have a city set on a hill that's a light to the world. Let's cut out all the games and gimmicks and ideas. Hold on. Let's cut out living in an ideal. Okay. And this is the problem with the church. People want to live in an ideal, but the reality thereof is far from us. And the evidence is the lack of result. If the church is the church, it is a city, hold on. It is a city set on a hill and a light to the world. So if most of the church is doing what it ought to be, that means America would have a light. What does light do? It exposes darkness, but not only that, it eradicates it. What word am I looking for? The immersion of darkness in our nation is the evidence that the majority of churches are not doing their job. And to tell people that the majority of churches are doing their job is deception, because then the church will stay as it is. And the church is not what it ought to be. This is the whole reason why God has sent me to preach Reformation, because that's what's needed. We need a reforming and a restructuring of God's church back to its original intent. And if the standard of Christ was as high as it is, we wouldn't allow foolishness to go on. The churches that are on point, so to speak, if they were really in multitude, they would come against the false and they would tell them to get right. But that's not the case. The majority is false.
Who said that they would do that, though?
You said what?
Apostle, who said that they would do that they would come against and tell them to get right? In what scripture or what analogy